Okay, I'm gonna need water. Let me get my thoughts together. Let me just do this. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elia Sfarza, and today's video was supposed to be a fun vlog, travel vlog, my time in Vegas and LA, but instead we're gonna do a little quick story time. So basically, I went to Las Vegas this past week and then drove to LA and got robbed. Yeah, so that's pretty much the tea. The end. So basically, I went on a trip last week and I went to Vegas and LA, and while I was in LA, my last day there, I was robbed. Totally, everything gone, everything stolen, and let me tell you, it sucked. But let me start from the beginning. So I originally went on this trip because I'm doing this music project that I'm part of that I can't really talk about yet, but I was out there recording. We went to the studio, we did a couple interviews, things like that. And on my last day that I was there, which was on Thursday, on the 15th, me and one of my friends decided we wanted to go to Runyon Canyon, which is like a very popular hiking place in North Hollywood. I've been to Runyon Canyon like a million times, like millions of times, no problem, no issue. I don't see it as like a very sketchy place, but I guess it is. And I never felt unsafe or felt like something bad was gonna happen in that area. And we went around noon and we parked right there on the street, on the main street where the entrance is for Runyon Canyon. We parked at noon. It was me, her mom, and myself. We had our luggage in the car because she had also traveled with me to Vegas. I had my laptop, my camera, my bags. Her mom left her phone in the car, and we locked the car. And it was like no problem. You know, we thought we'll go for a quick hike, we'll go to Earth Cafe afterwards, and then we'll take me to the airport. And I thought this is gonna be the best day ever. I think I even said that on the hike. Like I was like, this is gonna be the best day ever. Also, side note, if the quality is different, I'm using my old camera because obviously my camera was stolen. So if you notice anything different, just note that because we're using my oldie but a goodie camera. So I'm so thankful to have a backup camera, thank God. And anyways, let's continue. So anyways, we headed out for our hike. We were having the best time. We were talking, chit-chatting. We were gone for exactly an hour. And the reason I know this is because I actually timed it on my watch. You know, I started our hike and then right as soon as we were like leaving, I ended the hike. We got to our car and my friend's mom opened the car, opened the trunk. It was like an SUV, like a Kia Sport, I believe. And with tinted windows, which is crazy. But she opens the back and she's like, where is y'all's stuff? And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, it has to be here. Did we leave it somewhere? Did we leave it at the hotel? Like, I was like, no, like, what? And we start freaking out. We're like, everything was gone. Our purses, jackets, shoes. We had just bought Steve Madden shoes, me and my friend, and they were like in these giant Steve Madden bags, and we were like in shock, honestly. Like, we were so unaware of what had just happened. Like, we were freaking out. And so we start searching and everything is gone, including their purses. I mean, again, jackets. Her phone was under the seat and they had taken that as well. They even took the chargers, like they took everything. So at that point, we're like freaking out. We call the cops. I call my dad. I call my boyfriend. I call my bank. I call Southwest because I had a flight that day and I had no ID or cards or anything. And I just started canceling everything as fast as I can because they started to get alerted that there were charges on their card or like attempts of charges. And I was able to cancel like my debit card and my Cash App card, but I have a Venmo card that I wasn't able to cancel in time before they charged $2,000 on my card. Which was just wild, and something I'm still dealing with right now, but I'm sure we'll be able to fix it. Thankfully, Chase is like really good at, you know, helping with fraud charges and unauthorized things like that. So I'm not too worried about it. But of course, like in the moment, you're like freaking out. And so the cops finally come. We tell them everything that happened. We tell them what we had. And for me, like I had a lot of stuff, but I knew exactly what I had with me, which was including my laptop, camera, charger, clothes. Like I know which workout clothes I took. I know which jeans I took. I could describe like everything of my possessions, basically all my makeup and skincare as well, which was so annoying, but I mean, it happened. And so after we finished talking to the cops, we keep getting alerts of these people trying to use their cards at Walmart, at Target, and Home Depot. So we were like, let's just go. I don't even know if we're like allowed to do that or if we were supposed to do that, but we're like, let's just see if we can find them or get a description or something, because it just felt like there was a slight chance we could get our stuff back. And mind you, I had a flight and I was like, if there's any way I can get my ID, that would be insane, or any of my stuff like would be incredible. So we head on over to Walmart in Burbank, which is about like 20 minutes away. And we start asking all the cashiers, the security, and we were able to get like some identification of like what the guy looked like. And he was like some tall guy, but it was hard because he was wearing a mask. And he had tried to charge like $100 on gift cards. So I was like, oh my God, like this guy's like really going after it. And then we got alerted at the Target, which was like right across the street. So we run over to Target, and there they said it was a female trying to do it with like a hoodie and her mask. And then I get alerted at Home Depot, where that's where they got me with the $2 grand. And literally like, I think we were there like 8 minutes after I got alerted for the charge, but we were looking around, we were like feeling crazy and we didn't know what to do. And then I was like, what are we gonna do if we like actually like run into them? Like, what are we gonna do? Like just be like, give us our stuff? Or like, we didn't know if they were armed. And that was like the crazy thing about it all, is that, you know, luckily we weren't actually in contact with them. We were blessed enough that that didn't happen, because I know that happens, and that would have been even worse, of course. So I was just like grateful at that point to not have to be in contact with them, and we weren't attacked or like at gunpoint or anything. So that was it was just pretty crazy. Everything was so crazy. So after we left Home Depot, I was just like, I need to get to the airport and figure out how I can get on my flight, if that's even possible. I was seriously like, I have to get out of LA. Like, I cannot stay another night in LA. I was gonna be freaking out if I had to, but thankfully I called Southwest. I talked to them and told them the situation. And then once I got to the airport, I was flying out of Burbank, thankfully, which is like a smaller airport than LAX. And they were so helpful. All they did was like interview me, ask me really personal questions to make sure that I could like make sure it was me, and you know, things like that. So they finally let me on my flight, and I was literally wearing like leggings, a sports bra, and a crop jacket. I had my phone, my cheap sunglasses, and a mask. Like, that's it. That's all I had. And I think the only thing I had eaten that day or drank was a matcha latte that I got before the hike. We were so like stressed out that we didn't even eat. I wasn't even hungry, honestly. Like, I was just still in shock. And I've never felt so weird walking through the airport with absolutely nothing. I ended up buying some like headphones that you have to like plug into your phone, you know, like how we used to use them, not the Bluetooth ones. And just so, cause like I was still on the phone with like my parents and the banks, and everyone was calling me, and it was insane. But I was just so grateful to be able to get on my flight and go home that night, even though it was like the worst day ever. And I was also really grateful for like all the messages that I got. I got a lot of messages from people I knew and people I didn't know on social media of like offering to help in any way that they could, whether it was like money or, you know, assisting me at the airport, or I know someone at the airport and things like that. So, or just giving me information like you should go to the police department and this and that. And so it was just like insane how much help was being given to me and how much grace was being given to me, because it was a horrible experience and I'm still processing it. It's now Monday. This happened on Thursday. So I'm still like, I'm just still taking it all in, because it was so crazy and nothing like that has ever happened to me before. Even though I lived in New York for 6 years, I've been to LA a bunch of times. I've traveled, you know, all over the place and in different countries, and I've never been like robbed like that. And you just feel violated. You feel like what? You just feel crazy. Once I got back, I was able to apply for my driver's license again, which you can do online, and I didn't know that, and that's awesome because I was really dreading going in. And I didn't have my passport with me. I'm still waiting for that to be sent in, so thankfully that was not stolen. But I went and bought a new laptop because I use it for work. Had to buy all new skincare, all new makeup, and I took some video of like the day after, so I'll probably place that after this clip right here. And yeah, it was just insane. But some things that I learned from this experience was, number one, never leaving my stuff or anything important in the car anywhere, ever. Always carrying my ID and wallet, at least like my ID and my card. Thankfully, Apple Pay and like having my wallet on my phone came in super helpful. I had never used it, like where you could just tap it. I didn't even know I could do that. So from now on, I'm probably gonna be really reliant on that and maybe not carry my cards with me everywhere. I don't know, but never leaving ID or wallet anywhere. And if I'm traveling, for sure having like my bag with me at all times with my most valuable, and for sure always having my most valuable possessions with me if I'm traveling. Like even if I go on a hike, I'm gonna take a little backpack with my camera, wallet, and things like that, like the essentials. Even though it was just bad luck. Like it could happen anywhere, anytime. I could have been robbed in person, but those were like main things that I was like, I'm never going to leave anything in the car, and I'm never gonna leave without my ID or a card ever again, because that's just never happened to me, and you never think it's gonna happen to you, and then it happens and you're like, oh crap. Like there's so many things I wish I had done differently, but you know, again, you can only like prepare for when something crazy like this happens. Another thing I kind of was like thinking about was like, if I take jewelry, make sure that I'm wearing it. Luckily I was wearing like my favorite jewelry that I wear and never take off. Luckily I was wearing that. And just not taking the most expensive things you own on a trip, because you never know if your luggage is gonna get lost or someone's gonna rob you or anything can happen. So if there's something like super valuable, like a family heirloom or something your mom gives you or something like that that is not really replaceable, I would definitely shy away from taking that on a trip. And you know, another thing I learned is like, I guess just to be more aware of my surroundings, because I feel like I'm too trusting in some scenarios of like, you get used to your routine and going where you go and not really thinking about it, and then you never know who's watching. So just kind of being a little more aware. I do want to get a like spray, a maze spray for like my keychain or something, especially just like wanting to protect myself in a situation if I were to encounter someone in person, to be able to somehow defend myself. Because I was like, even if I ran into the people that robbed me, I would have no defense. They could just be like, no. Yeah, and so these are just like a few things that I'm now gonna be, you know, introducing into my life on a regular basis, because you just never know when it's gonna happen, whether you're traveling or not traveling. It's crazy. That's basically what I learned from this experience. Thankfully, everything I lost is replaceable. It's just material. I'm grateful that we're all okay and that I made it home that day, and grateful to have like the support of, you know, social media as well, for people who were reaching out and showing me their love, their support, praying for me, things like that. Like I was like overwhelmed and just so grateful, because it was a terrible experience. But the main thing I thought to myself was like, okay, it's over. Like that, once that day was over, it was over, and there's nothing you can do but like move on and just keep going. Because on the flight home, my phone died, and I was just running so many thoughts in my head of like, I could have done this different, done that, I'm never going to LA again, like things like that, like very negative, unfortunately. But then the next day, once I rested and ate food and felt like I had a moment to really comprehend what happened, I was like, it's totally fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Like, just know everything's gonna be okay. And there's never, you know, there's never a moment like that you can prepare for, but you just have to keep going afterwards and continue with life. So I am filing like an insurance claim, hoping to get some money back. My friend's car wasn't, here's the crazy part, my friend's car, they use like an electronic thing to unlock the car. So they didn't break a window, they didn't damage the car, other than she couldn't lock the car afterwards, but I know that you can easily take care of that, thankfully. So they didn't damage the car, but the technology that they use to break into cars now is insane. And luckily, you know, get insurance. If you have renter's insurance, I think that covers if you get things stolen from you. Travel protection, things like that I don't usually like think about. I'm gonna now be a little bit more wary and like really think about like, well, you never know, any case scenario. Sometimes it's an extra 10 bucks or 100 or whatever, but in the end, I think it is worth it because I lost thousands of dollars worth of things, and I don't think insurance will cover everything, but I'm hoping to get at least a portion back and just get all my stuff back and hopefully get a new camera. You know, you just don't even realize like how much you use the things you have, you know, especially just like skincare and makeup and things like that. So just a side note, many things thought of that I'd never thought of before this experience that I'm now aware of. It's just important to know because you never know what's gonna happen. And fun fact is that you can get on your flight without an ID. You just have to obviously go talk to the airline and see if they'll let you on and go through like a screening process and all of that. But it's so crazy, guys. It's so crazy. I'm just happy to be home and safe and moving on and hopefully never experiencing that ever again. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for listening to my story time. I love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon with new videos every week. I love you. Stay safe out there and have a great day.